A lot's happened since yesterday!
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another edition of A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday. My name is Ralph.
My name is Cody. And today, my friends, we are joined by Phil Varone and Chris McLernon, aka the Governor, as I'm told. So, Gov, how you doing, my brother? They are from the band.
Well.
They are from the band Panic Boom. Guys, how you
We
doing?
are. Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, we're having good days. It's a nice Sunday. We're chilling. I wanted to get straight into Panic Boom because the more I listen to your guys' song and the more I watch the video and the more I see shit that's going on, it hits home too much lately, and it's kind of insane. But first, let's talk about how Panic Boom started.
Yeah, let's talk about the name real quick.
Okay.
Sure.
What does Panic Boom stand for?
The national anthem.
Oh,
That's an old joke.
Okay, I was like, really? That's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
An old Sinatra joke. Sorry. It takes on a different meaning now, doesn't it? Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's how reactionary that response is.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. So I'd never heard that one before. This is a good one.
I never heard that one before.
Panic Boom. Well, that's because Planet Boom was taken.
Okay.
That's the nutshell. No, we back in the old days when we formed the band in '94, it was called Planet Boom, like planet. And then 20 plus years later, now we're 7 years later, when we decided we were just going to re-record one song, Revolution, but it turned into us writing a full record. And then we went to go put the band into, like the band camp and get the name and all that stuff. And we realized that there's actually a Planet Boom already. So we always liked Panic Boom for some reason. We liked the word panic. And it kind of just fit in. So we separated from the planet and put the panic. And that's really because we love the boom side of it. The boom was, and plus I have it, I have boom. Wait, is it this one? Yeah, I have boom tattooed on me. So boom had to be in the damn thing. So that's the, yeah. But that's really what it is. Nothing. I think naming the band is probably the most boring part about being in a band.
Naming the band.
Well, because
there's really
plus
nothing
there's
special about it.
And like you said, it's so frustrating to have all of these ideas and go, well, that's taken or that's too close, or it just gets really tough.
I mean, I haven't heard one name of any band that was an interesting story. It's always like a bunch of guys that are just worn out, and you like tried every name in the book. I mean, listen to Motley talk about naming a band Christmas, and Kiss was going through their name. That's probably my least favorite. Even Saigon Kick, when we tried to name Saigon Kick, and it was because I misheard the girlfriend of our guitar player, and it was like but we were all sitting there like burnt out, like on trying to find a name, and finally, and then once the Saigon Kick came, it was supposed to be Saigon Kiss, like an actual kiss, and I said, oh, that's a Saigon Kick, that's pretty cool, and then it stayed on the board. Like, okay, well, we'll keep that one unless something else comes up. And at that point, that's the name of the band. Nothing else is going to come up. We're done. So with Panic Boom, it was just like, we liked Panic. Everybody said yes. We were like, good, let's move on. And that's what we did.
It usually turns out to be the thing people argue about the least because you're tired of it.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it's interesting at some point, you're like, good, let's go.
Right,
exactly. Stuff that matters.
I just wanted the boom. That's it. Boom. As long as boom was in the title, we could have called it anything. I don't care. It was just I love, and because it's not only just because it's tattooed on me, but I think the band, the word boom basically like, describes this band. When a song starts, it's that kind of energy and that kind of sound. And so I always wanted Boone, and Panic is just worked out great. I actually like it. So yeah.
Well, and it did stand out to me, especially with the Revolution video. I'm like, it almost kind of, it goes with hand in hand, because all the crap that's going on, the way the song speaks about it, it kind of is a panic boom going on. So I thought it was very.
And the lovely Chris McLernon, he mixed it, produced Revolution. So you have that wall of sound coming at you like a tsunami. And I think that on the video side, on the visual side, that's what I did when we were all talking about it. There's so much stuff going on in the world, as you said. We're all burnt from it, and basically it's 2 years of, in video is what we did. And then some friends of ours, we had the news ticker in there, and that news ticker turned into a lyric ticker. And it was just another brilliant idea that a friend of ours had. And so we just ended up making something really cool. And the idea of the video was that that's all our lives were for 2 years, is staring at televisions or some kind of something that's playing back at you. And what do you make of this?
Right.
It was important. We kept it neutral. I would, send Chris copies of the video. I'm like, hey, what do you think? And we sent them to Randy, and everybody had the input, because we didn't want to say or do anything that didn't represent each other and the band. We're not trying to be political. We're just trying to show what was going on.
The song is very political, and the video is very political, to be honest. I mean,
it's political, but we don't take sides. That's all we're saying. Like,
no. I noticed that. And you know what? It's pretty interesting, because you have visuals of Martin Luther King in the video, and this happens to be Black History Month, and it also happens to be a very, the times now, guys, we got to admit, people are kind of, like you said, they're fired up. Yeah, you know what I mean? So this song actually does, not only is it catchy, but because I thought the chorus was really catchy.
Thank you.
And but also I think it's really relevant to the times right now.
Well, what's funny is, Randy wrote the lyrics 25 years ago and didn't change one.
See, that blows me away, dude. You guys, you wrote this song 25 years ago, and it still rings as true now as it did then.
Right.
It's scary to a point, because and I don't know, man.
Well, I think it comes down to that. What 25 years ago we had the same, unrest or whatever of America. There's, and no matter what, I don't think it was as because the internet wasn't insane back then. Okay, it was just starting out, so it wasn't thrown in our face. But if you think for 1 second that racism was gone in '94, you know what I mean? Like, it just so happens that now it's up front, and we as Americans, or at least this is the way I'm going to speak for myself as an American. I expect the government to do the right thing. I always did, right? And they have failed us. So in that respect, but the government's been failing us since they made the Constitution. And the day one, it's been failing us. I mean, but so I just believe that these days, we didn't have 24-hour news back then. It's like when I was a kid, Walter Cronkite came on. He came on for a half hour. You listen to him. He was God. He was the word, and you get on with it. It wasn't 24 hours a day. That's what our problem is today. Ratings, not news, ratings.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
Well, and the biggest issue too that they're coming in contact with is they like to present their narrative like they always have, as long as they've been doing it. But you have everybody with their fucking cell phone taking pictures, shooting video, being on the ground level, going, I don't know what they're talking about. Here's what we're looking at, and you have this clash going on. Yeah.
When did you guys film this video?
I did the video. There's no, because we had the singer shot footage of himself singing, in front, and I edited the video, but I built the video. Everything that's in it, I built. I'm an editor. That's what I do, like as my my day gig.
Oh, right.
So I just built the video and I made it into 9 screens, and there's 9 different videos going on, of what's happening in relevant sections. So there's
Very
no
cool.
performance other than the singer.
I really liked what you did with this video. I think that it's got kind of, got this, I don't know what to call it, CNN type of,
That's
Yeah.
Thank you, because that's exactly what I did. I copied CNN, the news tickers, and I got, believe it or not, I was watching Independence Day, the movie with Jeff Goldblum, and the first one, and there was a scene when they're in the newsroom, and it was a newsroom or whatever, wherever Goldblum was, but I saw this wall of screens, because initially it was going to be old televisions and all this other stuff, but I saw this wall of screens and I was like, 9 screens, we can have a lot of information flying at you, and because we are constantly getting bombarded with information, and none of it is true or false, or we don't know what it is. It's a lot of opinions and speculating and bullshit, where like, what do you believe anymore? So I always believed that humans had enough sense to make their own judgment or decision according to being smart or experience, or they may know someone smarter or a doctor, but everybody gets their news off of their friend who copied and pasted something that was fucking wrong 30 pastes ago, and then you have this fight that, because nobody wants to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's like,
but everyone wants to be first.
Yes, everybody wants to be first. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
out here, one of our news quiz, I can't remember how long ago it was. This is a while ago. And I don't know if you're familiar with the comedian Enrique Iglesias. He calls himself Fluffy. Out here, they actually, on our local news station, reported him dead.
Yeah.
And he had to call them and go, "No, I'm still alive."
Yeah, I heard he died. Yeah, that's funny.
Nobody came out on our news and went, "Oh, sorry, he's still alive." They just went on with life. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? You just let people believe he's dead?
Yeah.
I think the
media always wants to be first. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
the real journalist is pretty much extinct, it seems. Too many bloggers, too many gossipers. Facebook by itself will be the end of mankind. If they trace it down to like how when the meteor hit the earth and there was the ice age, well, Facebook is that to me. It's just going to make mankind extinct because everyone's getting dumb. And I don't know why you got to be dumb. I go on Facebook. I have fun on Facebook. I promote things. I talk to my fans. But how people just turn instantly stupid, I don't know. It's very strange. And I'm not talking about opinions because I'm not right on I have my opinions, but I'm just talking about right and wrong.
Right.
When did humans like just don't know what right and wrong is anymore? When did they learn not to behave? People they got to learn how to behave. And I don't know what did that, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty embarrassing.
Honestly, I think more the advent of the internet, and I equated it to my wife. I said, when you get with somebody in a relationship and you move in together, there's that tension right in the beginning because like, why did you put the toilet paper this way, or where's this, or you always move my shit, and there's always that for a minute while you're learning to live with somebody.
My shit.
Isn't I always equate it? Isn't that kind of what's going on with the world? Like we went from being the world to the internet came and we became this fucking big. I can bring up TikTok and see what somebody's doing in fucking Botswana. And now we're going, well, I don't like that. And it's like, well, dude, they're over there. Why don't you take care of your shit first,
It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
It's nothing. Why humans seem to think that their word means something. And it doesn't, unless we ask, I ask friends of mine for an opinion because I trust them and I love them and I respect them. And I get the right, if I ask Chris something, he tells me the truth, whether it's brutal or not. That's what I expect.
Yeah.
And if he has an issue with something, he'll tell me, listen, like, what are you doing or whatever. I need that in my life. We need people like that, for good friends. I don't. People don't have friends anymore, or whatever it is, or they don't want to listen. But I'm wrong all the time, you know, and that's okay because I'm learning. I mean, even at my age, you can't. You learn every day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's
you know.
that's really I was talking, you know, with the current things, you know, one of the biggest taglines that people like to jump behind is trust science. And I'm like, cool. The idea of science into itself is to question it every step of the fucking way.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
scientific method means you bring up a doubt and see if you can prove the doubt or dispel the doubt.
Yes,
exactly.
It becomes more true the less you can
Trial
prove it wrong.
and error, and through a process and through questioning and through results. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So when I hear it, and I have personal people who go, dude, just trust the science, and you're like, yeah, I am. That's why I'm asking questions.
You
know?
should always.
Yeah.
My God, I can't imagine being like, okay, that's good. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's never that good. You know, I guess my issue with people, and I don't know where it went, because I can only, you know, we talk about this when we do a concert, right? And we do these concerts, and when you look out in the crowd, you see rock fans, man, people smiling. You don't see Republicans, you don't see Democrats, you don't see black, you don't see white, you don't see anything. You just see rock and roll fans or music fans. I went to see Shinedown on Friday night.
Nice.
Okay. 6,000 people in Vegas. They just destroyed the joint. Incredible band. And all I saw was smiling faces. At one point, the singer from Shinedown said, hey, you know, we you know, there's a lot of new faces. He first asked, hey, how many people have came to see Shinedown before? And or haven't seen Shinedown? A lot of people raise their hand because they're young. And he goes, well, turn to your neighbor and shake their hand and say hello, because you guys have this in common right now. And I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen, because at that point, I saw white people shaking black people's hands. I saw, you know, Asians. And I could tell you now that is it. We're Nevada's a very Republican state. I had no idea. Extreme sometimes. And I could tell you that Democrats were shaking Republicans' hands. My point is that you can get along, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought that was really cool that they did that. And I've never seen that before. And I watched the whole audience turn to the left and shake hands and high five each other, because that's what they had in common. Music.
So what do you think it is about the internet and the disconnect that makes a lot of people turn into just assholes? Like, I'm going to just say vitriol, toxic shit just because I can.
No. That's an easy one for me. No consequence. Or when we were kids, no street justice. You mouthed off to someone on the playground. That was that.
That's true.
Settled.
That's true.
You do that now. You're first of all, no one puts their real name out. You know, in the old days, if you wrote a letter to the editor of a newspaper, you had to put your name and address down. Not a chance when you're, you know, Weasley Gopher 927 on Facebook. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
What the hell is that? You know,
and
you
I
can
have to
say anything with no consequence at all. The rudest shit, the most inaccurate shit. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
So the best video I saw recently was Buzz Ulrich, I believe. I think it was Buzz. He was at a meet and greet or whatever, and some dude, a big dude, came over to him, told him that the landing on the moon was bullshit. It was fake, right? And this old man cracked this motherfucker, like just hauled off and cracked. It took him off guard. That dude was huge, and Buzz, I mean, he was an old man, and he just swung, because you know what? Fuck you. That's why. You know, like who are you? This guy, oh, it was fake landing. Do you have the proof? Show the proof.
Yeah.
Show all the everybody has a lot of things to say until you go, can I see the evidence? Well, the dog and the guy, I saw it on Facebook.
All right.
You know,
let me find this PDF I got.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, man.
And
I mean,
and
funny is they'll do it to us about our careers. That's what that's what always cracks me up. Well, you know, because this happened in this time and this whatever. It's like, no, you're wrong. For one. Two, you're talking to the band archivist for, you know, the last 25, 30 years. Three, no.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't there. Shut the fuck up. You know, it's one of the few times I actually got an altercation with somebody. It's like, you're wrong, dude. You weren't there. That's not what happened. I don't care what you read on Facebook. Wasn't going to let
that shit's insane.
They won't even listen to from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
well, like you
crazy.
said, it's not about being right. It's not about the truth. It's about winning an argument at that point. Like, they're married to their argument, and they will fucking double down no matter what. And you're going, dude, I fucking lived it. I'm the guy you're talking about, and I'm telling you it didn't happen. Nope, fuck you. You don't remember.
That happens every day for me.
But look, I don't understand. I find that people that are very confrontational every day, like they need that in their life. Apparently, I guess it might be an addiction, just like drugs or just anything else. I mean, they don't know what to do with themselves if they had a peaceful day. I live for peace. Like I just want a peaceful day. But some people just, and I'm sure you got all of us. We all know these people that just have drama filled around them. And I was probably one of them years ago, when you're on the road and you're just fucking crazy and doing drugs. And, but I just don't understand. It's almost like these people are so addicted to it that if they're not fighting or arguing about something, they don't know what to do with themselves.
I can speak from experience to a certain extent, because I was one of those people for a while. And for me personally, it was more of the fact that I was in a position I didn't like. I was in a job I hated. I felt like everything about me I didn't like doing, I didn't like being. So I fucking hated everybody for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's bad energy has to go somewhere, and it's always easier to throw it on somebody else.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I mean, finger pointing is one of the biggest things that all politicians do. There's no one party. It's the same shit. If you're a politician, you're lying or you're blaming somebody else. There's not that many righteous people out there in politics. Yeah. And the ones that are, they're trying to shut up. It's a very weird thing. I guess I can't imagine what the Romans were when you have this emperor who's a complete asshole. And then you have the Senate trying to control and look at Korea, North Korea, if somebody disagrees, they kill people. It's like, I don't even know what's going on. It's just an odd time for the United States, because I mean, in my 55 years, I just never see anything like this, because I just thought people could behave. And I'm all for get behind a guy hey man, but I'm not, I did not vote for Trump. But that doesn't mean that Joe's doing a splendid job either. I'm committed to the United States, okay? Because I'm an American. So whoever's in the office, if they're effing up, they'll hear it from me. I don't give a shit what party they are, I don't. Because when the day's over, they have to help us, okay? Whoever's in there. That's all. And that's the argument to me. It's like, why are we even arguing? Because it's like, aren't you an American? That's what you want. And to me, that's what revolution is about. Because on the flip side of things, it's like, some people are crazy and they do dumb things and they don't understand, how it works. And, but and other people protest in peace. I think protesting is a great thing. I think numbers are important, to be heard. Yeah. But you don't have to kill people to do it. No one was going to listen to that. I know that the loudest person in the bar, no one's listening to, you know, but if you want to sit down and work some shit out, I could do that in 2 seconds. And you get a lot more accomplished, especially when you're showing some respect.
And seriously, you should be able to look at somebody for the greater good and for to make something better. And even if it gets heated, find commonality and a common ground and go, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not hating you. We're both passionate. I mean, me and Ralph have gone rounds, but we don't hate each other. It's not a matter of that. It's about finding what's right and finding what's good.
Do you have respect for him?
No,
that's the key.
I'm kidding. No, he's my brother, dude. Yeah,
no, because that's what it comes down to. I was raised in a house. My parents, Chris lived with me. He knows my parents were nuts, but they were the greatest humans. But respect was in that. That's all I knew is respect. Okay, that's what every house should be like. My father, didn't have to, never hit us, never even yelled. He put his finger up like this. And then you got, if 2 came up and you saw 2, you better get out of that damn room, because but we knew this, because it wasn't fear, it was respect. You know what my biggest fear was for my dad or my parents was to not disappoint them. That's what my fear was. Yeah. I didn't want to disappoint them. I wasn't afraid of them. There was nothing to be afraid of when you have good parents or parents in general. Respect. I just didn't want to, disappoint them. Today, no one gives a shit. No one cares about their legacy. Yeah. No one cares, man. I was like, Chris and I, we talk about this all the time. It's like we see our friends or these people that we know, that are in bands and stuff that have legacies, and they're just destroying them by talking dumb shit for nothing, you know? Because years from now, these people, these demigods, these con men, they'll all be gone.
Yeah.
But you'll stand, and your career is going to go. And if you have kids, it's going to go with them. You know,
That's true.
That's it.
That's true. Especially nowadays, it'll follow you for decades.
Yeah.
I had a question for you guys on the side. Are both of you from the band Saigon Kick? Were both of you members of that band?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How was that experience? I'm curious.
Great.
Wow.
I mean, we did everything from, I mean, Phil was there obviously earlier than I was, but when I joined, I was able to watch the ride up as the single took hold and become a hit, and then all crash, and then have it kind of reborn again in the rest of the world, where we were, I know this, when it happened, Phil and I were calling up each other and saying Sex Farm has gone #1 in Indonesia. But Indonesia was, it was at the time, it's probably bigger now, a country of 250 million people, and we'd gone #1. So then we had that ride to deal with, and then it went down again, and then we reunited in 2013 or 14, and everybody came back again. So it was just something you're not planning on when you go and make a rock and roll record. You're not thinking it's going to be this, like Phil was saying, a legacy that people will come up to you later and say, hey, we played this when my mom died. We played this when my child was born. We played this when we were married. We played this, you know, when we feel great at parties. You kind of go, I thought we were just playing a song.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's a fun ride. It is. But man, there are ups and downs that are just brutal.
Oh yeah. It's a roller coaster ride, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Being a musician.
Well, like a zip line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rush.
Zip line.
I think it's like you go to 1,000 and then you're at 0. There's really no in between. To me, it was kind of like the in between was getting there, because that was always fun. You know, like you're young, you're playing, and you don't give a shit. You live with your parents, and that's all fun. And then we thought, like, wow, getting a record deal is going to be hard. That was easy. Maintaining the band, maintaining a career, dealing with what we didn't know, which was business. You know, it was a lot to take in, but it's no different than any other band story. You know, Saigon Kick, right. We did a lot of great things. We did a lot of bad things. That's what we do. We were kids, and the idea is to learn from it. I think we made great music. That's it. No matter what had happened to the band, we made a really great body of work. And Chris and I are, you know, they're re-releasing the Water record. So Chris and I and Jason Beeler are doing on vinyl. The Water record is next, and we're proud of this stuff. You know, I mean, no matter what happened in the day, they're not going to take that from us. You know, like, it happened, right. It's over. We move on. We're still friendly. And that's it. Because there's way bigger things in the world right now to worry about than we already did the Saigon Kick thing. It was great. We have the great body of work. That's our legacy. So there's no reason to argue about it anymore, you know?
Well, what do you guys think about, you guys have a lot of knowledge about the business. So I got to ask, what do you guys think about the current climate of music and how musicians are making a living, and the streaming and all that stuff, Spotify, and, you know, let me know what you guys think about that. I'm curious.
I think these days, if you're not on the road, you're not making money, because there's an expression I heard at the ASCAP conference, which is analog dollars have become digital dimes. So streaming has absolutely stripped a musician of about 50 to 60% of his or her income. And I think, like, there's this whole thing going on with Rogan right now at Spotify. I think at Spotify, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to start focusing on podcasts to make money and start jettisoning musicians, because musicians aren't worth the pain in the ass. You know, let's deal with one person on a podcast and make twice as much money. Yeah. You know, we're not paying off a record company. We're not paying off a publisher. We're not paying off a band. We got one guy. So, and let's pay them a little bit, you know, or a flat fee. Yeah. But it's the crazy thing about, when, I know this sounds like we're talking about talkies to, you know, silence to talkies, but when we were back making records, if you wrote a song on a platinum selling record, one song, you could plan to make 90 grand. Now, I think the phrase I heard was $36 to $37.
Mother.
So that means you go out on the road and hope, because you can't put a t-shirt on YouTube, you can't rip around. You just can't, it's attendance. That's what pays you off. So it's the old days again.
Well, I recently saw someone comment on a friend of mine who happens to be a musician, his post on Facebook. I don't get into the politics on Facebook. I'm not going to be that cat.
Me neither.
But at the same time, I do see things that are being said. And this one guy said, I don't know if he's a musician or not, but it didn't sound like it. He said, musicians need to stop whining about not making what they used to make.
He's definitely not a musician. So
Yeah, right.
He might play something.
no, he's not a musician. Yeah. Look, that's like saying, garbage men. Let's say garbage men. They're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay. What if we didn't pay them to pick up the trash? It's the same thing. A gig is a gig, man. We're no better than garbage men, and garbage men are no better than us. I'm talking about the pay. If you go to work, and for some reason, people put musicians on a pedestal, but it's a job, man. We when you are a kid and you get a record deal, that's our job. Contrary to popular belief, they think you're catapulted into rock stardom or whatever, or even actors. If you're famous, Brad Pitt goes to work. He's not being famous is not his job.
Yeah,
his job is acting. Okay, so people get the famous thing. Gets a little clouded. So it's no different than if you were over at friggin', I'm sure the same guy who said that about musicians probably bitches every day about his wage at wherever he works. It's the same damn thing. We just happen to play music as our wage or whatever, or lack of.
Very good point. Very good.
But now imagine over a 10 or 15 year period, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, $50,000 of it just starts disappearing.
Yes.
But you're working the same job.
Yeah. Would you stay at that job? No.
Right.
But we do. Because we write songs, and we that's what our job is. So yeah, when platforms come in like Spotify and they don't pay us, I have a huge I don't give a flying shit what Joe Rogan has to say. I think he's a douchebag, and I've always thought he was a douchebag before he even said any of that stuff. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I don't like Spotify because they rip off artists. That's all. I hate Spotify.
I actually had Spotify on our list for that reason, because I was like, their whole big thing with Neil Young, Joe Rogan, Joni Mitchell, all these fucking people, and I'm like, okay, not 6 months ago the musicians were going, Spotify is telling us to create more music to make more money, and as if we just shit this stuff out of our butts,
You can't censor stuff, okay? Because we have the one thing I stand behind is our First Amendment. We have the freedom of speech. You can't censor that shit.
Yeah.
I know they can. Spotify can, and Facebook can, and Twitter, because they're not federal. Right. They're independent companies, and you can, that's not a First Amendment violation. It's not a federal thing. But I think that without the First Amendment, we're fucked. Okay, that's 100%. A big problem. So what Joe Rogan said, I've never listened to Joe's podcast in my life. I have no desire to, So whatever he's saying, I understand. See, what he's doing I think is not a First Amendment issue. Misinformation should be a consequence, because that's hurting people. Okay, that's where it falls, which will never fucking happen. Right. So to me, arguing about Joe Rogan is moot. And if Neil Young wants to pull his shit off, I would pull it off because he's not getting paid before what Joe Rogan says. Yeah.
And if he wants to pull it off, then pull it off, dude. It's your shit. Do your thing. Like that's when they're screaming, Neil Young is trying to censor Joe Rogan. It's like, no, Neil Young is saying, I don't like this, pull my shit off. I don't do your thing, dude.
If I had a career like Neil Young, I'd pull my stuff off of Spotify, not because of Joe, but because we're not getting paid. I mean, that's why. It's like, what was that? There was a meme going around with Metallica. It's like they had like 1 billion plays, and they're like, okay, so what do they get? Like about $150?
Exactly, man.
There was actually there was a Desmond Child post about how much he made off of something like 3 billion streams of living on a prayer, and it came out to like $6,500 or something. I mean, that's just
No, wait, that was
ridiculous.
that the joke, or is that actually the real statistic?
No, he was on Eddie Trunk, I think, talking about it.
Oh my God! See
And
that?
there's
No joke.
Oh.
That's why every musician should pull their shit off of Spotify.
Yeah.
Not because of some dope that said something, because Joe has every right to say whatever he wants. I think that you're dangerous when you're using a big platform to put misinformation out there. That's all I'm saying. So, and
that's when it comes down to, like, is it intentional? Was he having conversations? And that is up to whoever goes and does their shit. You know, I got, like you said, I ain't got time to worry about that. But
if I tell you to go drink bleach and you do it and you die, I should be held responsible for telling you to go drink bleach to an extent. Okay. I mean, look, humans are stupid too. So, you know, you would think for 1 second you would go, well, let me like when COVID came around, Chris has some doctor friends, and I even said to Chris, he has a pharmacist friend. I'm like, so what about this vaccine? And Chris researched it, talked to the right people, and he told me about it. And we are good with that. But we talk to people. We talk to doctors. We took it upon ourselves to do the research, not listen to a fucking square talking to me. Because that square doesn't care about me, you know, but my friends care about me and I care about my friends. So we want to get the right information. So let's spread the right information, not because a person said it, but the right people. Because who do you go to? Let's say there was an epidemic of drums. Okay. Drums were killing people. I build drums and I play them. I'm an expert. Won't you come to me and go, hey, dude, if I see a snare drum rolling after me, what do I do? Because I'm going to kill me, you know? And I'm using this stupid analogy, but you understand what I'm coming from. It's like my expertise is snare drums or drums. So you're going to come to me for the right answer. If I say, hey, don't worry about the snare drum, you know, the kick drum, don't worry about that. But the actual kick drum is going to murder you, and it does. But I tell you to get in front of it and just stop it. You'll be able, and it runs you over. Well, that's pretty fucking bad. And I think that's what's going on.
And that's the scary thing, though, that they're pushing, because it's like, if you're wrong or you say something incorrect, there's discourse to be had. If you silence somebody that disagrees with you, there's no discourse to find truth. This is the guy who's telling you how it is, and you don't get a chance to think anymore. And I'm afraid they're trying to toe that line to some extent.
Well, and the problem is it won't stop, because I had this discussion with a friend of mine who was talking that, you know, getting rid of something was a good idea. And okay, because you agree with the censorship. No, I don't agree with censorship. Yes, you do. But what happens when you don't agree with it, but you set the precedent that you agree with it?
Right.
So just assume, hey, you agreed with this one. Yeah, that's what in law they call it precedence. You know, this happened before you. You agreed with it. We're taking this one away too.
Yeah, I don't
terrifying
care
to me.
The only time I have issues with people is when they're saying things that are hurting other people. That's all. Because that's when they should be held accountable. Misinformation that hurts people. If you incite riots and they kill people, you should be held accountable, no matter who you are. I don't give a shit. Like it's not about a party or a race or anything. It's about humans. If this asshole did something to another person, they should be held accountable. Just like the idiot that killed, you know, George Floyd. I mean, the guy murdered him. That's what he's arrested. He's in jail. That's what he got. You know, that was the consequence to what he did.
Well, although I would agree with you, Phil, I would say that don't you think the media is also responsible for spreading misinformation?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because
and that's the scary thing, because you got both of them trying to silence different voices, and we already know that one of those that are trying to silence are already lying to you. So it's like, if you silence them to just them, then who's telling the truth? You can't be even told.
Right.
Well, you know, again, I would expect that humans would go, look, this guy's a con man. He's basically setting everything up to be we know con men in our lives. We know, you know, how things were run a certain way. We know shady business people, and it's always something. I just dealt with that with a record company. In this day and age, I was going to put my documentary out with a soundtrack, which actually sparked the Panic Boom reunion. And the label, I found out, was just a bunch of a fraud, just fast talking, stealing money, like Ponzi scheme type thing. And this is somebody that I thought I knew, you know? So these people, you have to be so careful now. So I don't care what channel tells you something. You have to, for 1 second, take a breath. And then where do you go? Can you go to the internet? Not necessarily, but who doesn't know a doctor? You have your own doctor. You have somebody that you can actually talk to and go, hey, let me just get some information here. Maybe research it, find out what's in the thing, you know, and don't tell me about cats shooting Jewish laser beams and bullshit. Like, you know, it's like enough of this shit already, you know? And who
I forgot about the
this?
Jewish laser beams.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was part of my point, because if you think about it, this has been going on for a long
For as long as time. For as long as
Yeah,
time.
think about when you would go to the supermarket and there would be the Star magazine or the Inquirer.
Where, sure.
Yeah, one of those, and you know, it was posing as an actual media resource.
But it was
news
entertainment.
resource.
I mean, I
Yes,
find,
but not
I
everybody
find stuff
got
as
that.
entertainment. I
Yeah.
mean, when you and you know, there is some truth in those magazines. There is a two-headed human, you know, there are, well, now we know there's aliens. Shit, man, you know, for the longest time they were saying, you know, that, but now we know that there's UFOs under, you know, alien, whatever they want to call it, the government. Look, I just feel that when it has to do with your fellow neighbor, you just have to have respect. I think there's a lack of respect, and there's too much selfish people and not selfless. With that said, I know a lot of great humans. I know that the great humans outnumber the shitty humans. I know this, you know, and I just hope that, you know, we can get past all this crap, and hopefully relationships can be salvaged, and people can, you know, decompress. And because look, what if you got arrested tomorrow, okay, no evidence whatsoever, and they just told you every day that you just murdered someone? You're like, what are you talking about? I wasn't even in the country. Yes, you were. No, I wasn't. You have any evidence? No, but I read it on Facebook.
Yeah.
So you murdered them. That's what's going on today. That's how extreme it is to me, because I saw an interview with a Trump supporter that said, I don't care. The person said, I'm going to show you all the evidence that Joe won. I don't care. Even if you counted every vote by yourself, no, he didn't win. They don't even want the fact. So how do you go through life? Forget about Trump. Let's just talk about life now.
Yeah.
How do you go through life not even accepting facts? What if your child was sick? No, he's not. I read it on WebMD or whatever. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? It goes way.
No,
way
I totally
broader.
know.
It's the classic
Absolutely.
facts don't give a crap about your feelings, which is why you should honestly try to find the truth, because at the end of the day, good or bad, the truth is going to be the truth. And it's either going to help you, it's going to bite you, it's going to slap the shit out of you. It's still going to be the truth. You know, you can't reword something.
Chris and I talked about, like, because I was stunned too. And Chris even said, like, these people just fucking, they're so in it. They just don't even know what they're even arguing about anymore. But they're just going to argue because they've been doing it for years.
Right.
You know, it's such a fucking waste of time. My God.
You guys seem to be pretty deep in your thoughts about what's going on in the world today. I do have 3 last questions for you guys.
Yeah.
As far as the single goes, do you guys believe there needs to be a revolution? And the second question is, there's a verse in the song that says, let's rewrite the Constitution, if I'm not mistaken. Do you guys believe that needs to happen? Those are 2 questions. I'll ask you the last one.
Yeah.
next,
It is
after
two, yeah.
this.
Which one do you want first?
Does there need to be a revolution? Do you believe that?
I don't, because the problem with revolutions is they create a vacuum. And then when that vacuum happens, people want order in their lives. So you got someone who comes in who says, I'll take care of all your problems, just me, just listen. And that usually produces tyranny. And that's generally not a good outcome.
No.
You know, if you look at history, that type of thing. I mean, the most recent one, I think, was if you look at Iraq, that you took out Hussein and it created a vacuum. and it was all kinds of problems. I think the
All
same thing
kinds of
happened in Syria with, is that Syria or was it Lebanon with Gaddafi? I should know, I lived in the Middle East. But that's usually what happens. So revolution is, as far as a instantaneous thing, just produces chaos, and people typically as a group don't like chaos. They like order. So they tend to fight a revolution, but that doesn't mean someone won't try. But I don't think that's imminent myself.
No, I can't imagine. This Civil War stuff makes me giggle. And I tell you why. Because it would be over with one drone sprite.
Oh yeah.
Thing. You're talking about idiots that were gonna like the only reason why anything advanced in the first place is because the White House squatter didn't call the guards. You know, we have a solid, you know, a person representing the United States now. If that were to happen today, the military would be there and it'd be done in seconds. So this whole idea that there's this vast amount of people that are going to do a civil war, our military, which are truly the bravest, the patriotics, you know, the true patriots, who I have such great respect for, will end this shit. And it's you know what? If we have to mow down some domestic terrorists, and these people are domestic terrorists as far as I'm concerned, I just, you know, like, you're attacking our land. That's all there is to it. Whether you're an American or not, you don't do that on our land. So revolution. No, I think our revolution, we don't take it in a literal sense. As far as the Constitution is concerned, yeah, I think we need to rewrite a lot of things in the Constitution, because politicians have used this in every way to get what they want. They looked at loopholes like the Electoral College, which is a joke. You know, all these loopholes that were put in there because of the time. I thought humanity was supposed to evolve, and you can't use laws from 1779 for a 2021 right now, or 22. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that scumbags are scumbags, whether they're politicians or they're scumbags, and they're going to use whatever they can to make themselves go ahead. And I think that pretty much not all politicians, but most of them that I've seen in my lifetime do not have anything other. Their agenda is about themselves, period. And that's Democrats, Republicans. It's about them. Yeah. And the few people that are truly like patriots and want to do something, they get laughed out. You know, people laugh at them, call them socialists, and go crazy. You know, people, if you ask us what a socialist is, they don't even know what they are. Yeah. They have no idea. I'm like, do you get Social Security? Then shut the fuck up. You know, like, what? I mean, what are you even talking about? You know, it's like people just don't understand because they just get on the train, and I think that train is only going to make them look stupid at the end. Yeah. You know. So
because rather than searching for truth, they're just reading headlines and getting mad.
And Chris is absolutely right, man. When they killed Saddam Hussein, that started a shitstorm because he was the worst piece of shit on the planet, Saddam Hussein, but he controlled that region and kept everybody in check. So the government, we go in there and kill people, that's great, and then left that fucking void, that vacuum that Chris talks about. What are we going to do here? Let's lock some people up for consequence. That's what needs to happen. So you go, you know, we have a law, you can't murder someone, right? Okay, so when you murder someone, we know we're going to get arrested, we know we're going to go to jail, we know that. So now let's get some consequence. If you think you're going to overturn a government, well, quite frankly, I'm a little more extreme than most people. I say you put the gallows on the steps and you hang a few fucking people, because that's what it's in the Constitution. Treason is treason to me. So, you know, but people need to get fucking, they need consequence. And I think that revolution can be peaceful too. You know, we're talking about doing peaceful protests. We are in numbers. We are very powerful. The government does not want us to be in numbers, because that's the worst thing that could happen to them. Because once everyone's talking and we're smart, we could put anybody out of business. Think about that for 1 second. If we're pissed off at PayPal because of their 6%, and we actually could talk to each other as consumers and go, look, we don't want PayPal. We'll say, we need you to put your percentage down. We want you to make some money because it's, you know, that's what it's about. but people are fleecing, we're fleecing us. And they say no, take 2 seconds to put them out of business.
Yeah.
But everyone's too fucking selfish. You can't even turn your phone off for 2 days. That's what the politicians, I think, are preying on. And I think that they don't want smart people. They want the books out. They want I think history full of shit anyways. So, I mean, they can burn a few of those, but in reality, because real history is coming out now. Because science, we talked about science in the beginning of the thing. Science is proving a lot of things wrong.
Yeah.
We're finding out a lot of things now, but people who are in their beliefs don't want to know about science. They just want to know about people who believe in their agenda or what their outcome is or what they believe.
Right.
And they could talk.
It's not about debate or discussion. It's about just agree with me and move on, because I don't want to have it.
Yeah, I'd rather discuss.
Yeah.
I find it fucking fascinating. One of my good friends, he's a musician here, Michael T. Ross, he's a keyboard player, hardcore Trumper, hardcore, one of my best friends. We talk all the time. He doesn't agree with Trump now, but he voted. He's a Republican, but he also understands the United States. He's a very reasonable person. I have many Republican friends, so we could talk about this all day like this. I don't hate that. I think I can learn a lot as they can learn a lot from me. And I love my conversations with him because I learn a lot from him, what he's thinking, where he thinks it's from, like where it's from. And then I tell him this and he goes, checks facts. And then he calls me back and goes, hey man, thanks for that. I actually learned a few things. And that's how you continue a great friendship, with respect, without, oh, fuck you. I got called a commie. I got called a commie, which was the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. And I actually said, thanks, man. Because I actually complimented him. I was like, a commie. Like, you're just running out of stuff. But I've never been called a commie, so I thought it was great. So I'll go with commie. Anyway.
All right, you commie bastard. I just got one question.
Chris is really the commie. I mean, he's quiet. He's
the commie.
Chris
what's number 3?
Yeah, what's the third question? I'll let Chris answer it because I won't shut the fuck up.
The third question is, what is the plan for Panic Boom? I mean, what is the plan for the future? Because honestly, I mean, that's what this is all about. This was a very intellectual conversation, and I really appreciate your views on this, guys. I do. This was great. But I want to know now you guys releasing Revolution. It's a single. You got a new album coming out following this, but I don't know. Tell me what's the plan?
I'm literally finishing up the mix for the next single, song called "Keep It to Myself." Then we got to decide on what will be the third one, and then while that's all being assembled, we'll get the record ready. We have enough tunes for 2 whole records.
Oh,
and
damn.
our 2 guitar players got together last week and like, hey, we came up with 2 more. I'm like, Jesus, there's not a shortage. But the crazy thing is, they all sound like they're from the same period of time. So, and I don't mean in the sense that it sounds like it's dated, but they all sound cohesive and like they belong together. So there's no shortage of material. So the idea is just be self-propelled and be able to produce stuff as long as we want, because we can.
Do you guys plan on touring at all, or?
Oh, we're working on the hologram,
Yeah, we got holograms.
So I'm going to be Elvis.
The holograms will be on tour. Yeah.
Love it. That's brilliant.
Chris and I will be on the couch at home.
Right.
Control
Well, and I
like
think
with
that,
videoing
that's kind of and it's not a misconception, but it's kind of a misunderstanding about how the business works. Like with your material, like with Phil and I, we don't own our own catalog. So Atlantic can do anything they want unless we try and buy it back. Same thing with touring. Touring is such a financial commitment for, let's say, for a week of time that is just unbelievable. And people are like, oh, I'd love to see you guys. It'd be great until it's Thursday night in February in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's snowing, and they don't want to find parking, and we go on at 11, and oh God, the kid's got a test tomorrow, and I can't go out, and I get it. We're not 22 anymore, so it's but I think there's ways around it. Phil and I have talked about doing a streaming thing, where you get the band together, you stream it out, and you just do it that way. So people from all over can see you, as opposed to having to go to the venue, and they can also see you when they want to see you. You know.
Yeah, and with streaming, you have that
houses.
You have that
Chris
interactivity.
And I get to stay home is the question. The main thing. We don't have to leave. So I tell you, I watched Shinedown the other night, and I text Chris, and I was like, for like, I don't know, maybe I'd like to play some shows. And Chris is like, yeah, just think about it for a couple of days, and then I'll ask you again. And it's like, yeah,
slow down there.
It was fun, they're just tearing up the joint and that energy. And I was like, for a split second, maybe I lost my mind.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was actually going to ask you about that, because I remember earlier on in our conversation, you had mentioned that you had gone to see Shinedown, and that it was a really cool experience. So, even though I understand where you guys are coming from, I wonder if you don't really want to get out there. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You're absolutely right, Phil. It's work.
Well, I tell you this, I love these guys. These are my brothers. These are guys that I would take a bullet for, so I want to share the stage with them, because I'm proud of the band. And this is a great band. This is a great playing band. It's a great songwriting band. I would love to play some shows. Playing shows and touring are two different things, though. So I think we would definitely do some shows together. I know for me, I'll speak for myself. I want to play with these boys on stage. Like I want to show them off like a new girlfriend, like you're just like, because I love the song so much, and I respect and love these guys. So, but getting on the road, woof, but hey man, if we have a gigantic smash and it warrants a tour, well, we'll see. I am turning 55 this year. Chris is hitting 60. We're older, and we get senior citizen discounts, which is kind of cool. So touring Denny's would be great.
Yeah, a lot of early bird shows.
Well, the biggest question I have for you, Phil, is: do you have a new girlfriend that you want to show off?
Yeah, it would be the band.
There you go.
The 4 other guys, man. That's
Because look, girlfriend.
You're always married to the band. No matter who you're married to, you're always married to the band. That's why there's so many divorces. So, not from the band, but from their actual. So the band, Panic Boom, is my new girlfriend. She's a good-looking girl too. She sounds nice. She's got all the good stuff.
Well said, brother. Well said. That was very well said.
And like some girlfriends got about 4 different personalities.
Yes,
exactly.
Well, isn't that the norm?
Nobody ever knows what doesn't know what it wants. Everybody's got a different opinion.
Yeah, we get along surprisingly well. Because if we don't like something that Chris likes, then Chris just tells us to fuck off. So we get along great. No, this band is shockingly democratic. I mean, we have 5 guys, and we don't listen to the other 3. Me and Chris make all the decisions. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody has a say, unless they don't agree with us. I'm kidding, but no, it's very good. Everybody's name is on the songs, and look, we already did this, so this is fun for us.
Yeah,
we already went through the heartache of the music business, and now we're just having a good time, because we don't need any of that stuff. We just need to put some stuff out, talk to good guys like you, have some fun on some podcasts, put the song out, and the fans are wonderful. I actually was so excited because when our band camp, because everything, by the way, Panic Boom, everything is Panic Boom. So the band camp, the Panic Boom band is our website. So if you go to the website, you can go to it's like our landing page. It goes to all the streaming, goes to our band camp, our YouTube, everything. So it's panicboomband.com. When we got our first sale on the band camp, which was, we set the thing for $1, okay? And I saw the first $1 come in, and I was more excited about that than I was for anything in my career, because it was something we did, and nobody's got their grubby paws in it. It was just like, we put it out, and fans and fans are paying more than $1 for it. It's fun. And I just thought it was great. So like that day we made like $17, you know, and it still was more money than I made when we were on Atlantic, split but from 5 people. So it was still more money. So that's what I loved about it, you know. But
well, you heard it here, folks. Phil from Panic Boom was excited about $1.
and because it's what that dollar was hooked to. Because number one, I made 20 cents, which is wonderful. And I've never made 20 cents on a song in my whole life. And 2, it was with 5 guys or 4 other guys that I love dearly. So I'll split $1 with them any day of the week, and I'll be just as excited.
That's very cool.
I fucking love that.
That's what's cool about it.
I gotta give you the metal.
Ever walk into a business and they have $1 up behind them, just stuck on the wall?
Yeah, the frame. Yeah,
that's true.
There you go.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Chris. I've seen that many, many times.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't change.
Just for the record, I am Italian, so I skimmed already. So,
well, and I'm Irish, so I made sure everyone got their share.
He's the governor.
There you go. It balances.
Spread the graft around.
These guys are awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Panic Boom, check them out. They have a single out with a very cool video, by the way. I really dug it.
Loved it.
I watched it like 5 or 6 times, man. I really loved what you did there. So check these guys out, people. They have a new single called Revolution, and it's really cool. It's really catchy. And the video is really cool. Support these guys, man.
Absolutely.
Support these guys.
Please.
What do you say,
Another
Cody?
$1. We need $1 more. Come on.
One more
$1
dollar. If everybody chipped in $1, they would have more dollars than they have at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen. That's how things work. Welcome to capitalism. Oh,
That's a fact.
That's it. That's how it works.
Free market, baby.
Phil, Chris, thank you guys so much for showing up and for spending time with us, man. I can't believe it. This is awesome. It was a great conversation. I love the fact that you guys are so open about your opinions and what's going on, and you guys are willing to go down the rabbit holes with us, because some people really aren't.
Yeah, because a lot of that's economic. Have you guys read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson?
I've honestly want to, but I have not. No.
Fantastic point he makes in that, where he went and lived in Russia for a while, and the Russians were unbelievably rude, but he realized they weren't being rude, they're being blunt, because there was an economic part of the relationship they didn't share, because there was something about a hope that I could make money off of you or you could make money off of me that didn't exist in Russia. So when that was the biggest difference he knows between here and there. So the bluntness came in handy when he came back here, because he figured out right away who wanted something out of him, and if they told the truth or not. And it was something as easy as going and ordering a sandwich. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. What do you think? Just fucking say it. Just say what you want, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the cheese. No, I'm just kidding.
And the cheese.
It's a lot easier.
That was awesome, dude. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hopefully,
Thank you for joining
See you
us.
again soon, huh?
This was a great conversation. I really do like the song. I'm looking forward to the album. Do you guys have a name for the album yet?
No, I think it's gonna be self-titled.
Yeah.
Nice.
The next single, to keep it to yourself, comes out probably March area. Chris is mixing it right now, and then we're going to shoot the video for it. But that's going to be so. Hopefully, we'll talk to you guys when the next single comes out as well.
Absolutely. You're welcome back anytime, gentlemen. It was a great conversation.
Appreciate that.
Anytime.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Panic Boom. Support Phil, support Chris, do all of that great stuff. They are coming out with some great shit. Till next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be good humans. Always fucking forward. Conversation, not cancellation.
There you go. Good one.
Thanks, guys.